Go, Becky.
Looking good.
Something I've always appreciated is being pushed. I think there's a stigma in society that people with disabilities should be left to the side. We don't need to give them constructive feedback. We don't need to challenge them. They're just going to exist. So I find joy in being challenged and being treated with a high expectation and standard.
Good job.
I was born actually at Newton Wellesley Hospital, and I was diagnosed with dwarfism on the spot. I tried to put off addressing it as long as possible until it became a real issue. Once I realized that things weren't getting better, I then went through a 10-hour surgery. I knew that I wasn't getting the physical therapy and occupational therapy support I needed inpatient at the hospital. I needed something much more aggressive if we wanted to see results. I ended up spending 7 weeks in intensive rehab here and continue to do outpatient therapy to maximize the most out of my recovery.
Good job, girl. Woo-woo!
When I got to Spaulding, I knew that there were challenges ahead. But what I enjoy is working with the team to problem solve.
Becky, this is so good.
Her and I worked so closely together just to try and figure out what's going to work for her and problem solving, like how mobility needed to look for her, because it was very different from a lot of patients I had worked with in the past. And her commitment and like just willingness to try things was just so helpful.
Go, girl.
We spend so much time with our patients here, and especially someone like Becky, where I was spending at least 2 hours a day very closely working with her. We had a lot of emotional times together. She was going through something really traumatic. She had had many barriers in her life that leading up to this, and then this is a new process for her, this change in her mobility, needing to use a wheelchair now. That was a really emotional transition for her, and you know, we really bonded through that time together, and it becomes emotional for me too, and we formed some really close attachment while she was here.
The Bridge program, it was really an opportunity to provide patients with more therapy with transition from inpatient rehab to the community. And so we've been able to provide patients with this transition program and allowed them to achieve higher outcomes. So when they go to traditional outpatient, they're in a better spot.
I was terrified to leave the doors of the inpatient experience at Spaulding. I did not know what it was going to be like going out into the world. And when the opportunity to go to supportive surroundings came to me, it was the perfect next step.
Supportive Surroundings is a donor-funded program that we have the opportunity to provide accessible housing for our patients that transition from Spaulding inpatient into the community. In addition, we have the opportunity to provide resources for patients that may need equipment or things that they may not be able to afford to allow them to get home. We're so hopeful for this program to continue to grow and be able to serve more patients. Supportive Surroundings allows us to impact patients in ways that we were never able to do so before.
About 2 years ago, I lost my infant son. He was 6.5 months old. I think about him a lot as I think about my larger purpose in life. I want the world to be a better place, a world that he would have been proud to grow up in. I want the outside world to know that Spaulding is willing to help you with whatever you want to focus on. It's a place that is really changing lives. And what I hope for the future is that additional people with dwarfism can come in and have that same level of care because of the experience the team had working with me.